What's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer, bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Today, we're starting off the week with some wild price action over here in the cryptocurrency market. We'll take a peek at all of it. I've got a lot going on in the screen. We'll start fresh so you guys all understand what's going on here on the screen. We'll take a peek, of course, over there at the inverse price chart as well. Talk about the things that we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. I know you guys were getting kind of bored of talking about the same thing over and over again. Now we're finally getting the climatic moment. So we're going to talk about where we're at right now with the Bitcoin price chart and the altcoin market and see if we can make some sense out of this wild start to a Monday. We've pretty much been talking about this for the last 2.5 weeks, and we're now at the climatic moment. Here's a review back from March 25th, intense confluence for Bitcoin price chart, altcoin market, and stocks as 50-week average approaches. Right? Even though it takes out that high, it doesn't mean it's not still just ranging like this, right? So one of the things I talked about is that there was so much talk out there on Twitter and YouTube and live streams that if we broke above $45,000, that it would be an incredibly bullish thing to buy Bitcoin. But my thought has been, no, this is one of those long and grueling retraces that we're going through, and that we'd see a big pullback come back down in here. And now that's where we're at right now at this moment in this climatic Monday that we're starting off with. We've pulled right back down in, just as these structures tend to do. Now the big question is, will it hold? So we'll take a peek over here and see if there's anything in here indicating that this is an interesting price level that we're at right now. And if you notice when I started this video, I had this line over here just like this to show that this area has been the support and the resistance dating back to January of 2021. So we're going on a year and 3 months at this point, that this moment in time repetitively seems to be the place where all the support and all the resistance is. So for a whole year, this has kind of been, look through this whole thing. There's nothing here that is consistently as big of a deal as the price level that we're at right now. So you probably noticed all of these circles that I had on here when we started the video, showing how often we were finding support or resistance in here. So here we are again, after being unable to get through the 200-day moving average. And now today, here we go, we're poking below that 100-day moving average. The thing is, when we look at these things, you can look through history and see that these things can get wicked, right? So right now, technically speaking, while the day is still going and there's still 10 hours from right now, we see 10 hours and 22 minutes until the actual candle closes at this point. Could this be a wick? We see wicks happen all the time like this, like this, like this, and still it'll reverse back up. But the interesting thing is the price level we're at, the structure we're at, all of it pointed to pulling back down into here. Well, we're here right now, and this happens to be the most responsive support and resistance level for the last year and a half, nearly year and a half. So one would think holding here is probably pretty important. But never fun to see negative price action, but this has kind of been what my thesis has been so far. We'll see how things play out throughout the rest of the day to see if we do find some support coming in here or if we have to go back to the drawing board. But this has really been what my thoughts have been. Like my thoughts with the Dow Jones, for those who have followed along with my thoughts on the Dow Jones Industrial Average, that, hey, a pull back down into this area is where I'm expecting the Dow to go. That is where we are with Bitcoin right now. And well, it's a big support and it's a big resistance. And we can look back at time on how long we can stay here. In this time period right here, we stayed on top of it for 10 days before moving up. Right here, we stayed on top of it for 2 weeks before it finally broke down. So not expecting that things could reverse immediately, but to see that the pain can at least cool off here and that we do find support right now. Again, as a reminder, which pretty much is every video and people are sick of hearing it, but this is not a bullish trend, right? This is a bear market structure that is happening here for Bitcoin. Regardless of how long it takes to waddle through this thing or get in through here, right? The fact is, it's just desperately struggling, and it's just reminding me so much of what these things look like. And it's, the long and grueling retrace that we've talked about for so long that eventually makes its way back into retracements levels. But it takes so long to get there, and it's so grueling to get there that every time we move down to a bottom of a range, terrified sentiment, and every time we get to the upper boundary of the range, euphoric, excited sentiment, right? If you noticed last week, I noticed it, like there was news articles coming out from like, and I don't want to misquote who it was, whether it was JP Morgan or Goldman Sachs or whoever it was, saying, Ethereum's going to $10,000, right? Last week, right? Of course, when the market's excited, right? And I really struggled to like not like FUD post about that over there on Twitter, because I was running the math on all of it. Ethereum has risen nearly 6,000% in this bull run. And we're watching banks, institutions, give, retail investors a reason to FOMO chase the last 200%, right? It's gone up 6,000%. They're trying to get retail investors to buy here to chase the round number, the $10,000 price number for Ethereum and the $100,000 price number for Bitcoin. And both of those are small percentages, right? Bitcoin goes to $100,000 from right where it's at right now. That's a 150% gain. Just 150%. During the bull run, it went up 2,000%. So chasing that last 150%, the round number, the one that retail investors care about. Ethereum, right? It's $3,000 right now. If it goes up to 10,000, it's like a 230% rise, right? Chase that last 230%, even though it's already done 6,000%, right? Be the buyer up here while we're distributing on you is my thought process. And, that's just from experience. Anybody who was here in 2017, 18, 19, and 20 know that the institutions have a tendency to FUD cryptocurrency and FUD Bitcoin and crypto and Ethereum, especially the CNBC personalities who were keynote speakers at the Bitcoin conference. But notice right now you've got these big, round number price predictions coming out of these banks and these institutions. And at the same time, you have people or multi-billionaires coming out and openly saying, hey, we're buying hundreds of millions of dollars of Bitcoin right now. Why, right? Why broadcast that? That's not what they did during the bear market. They were FUDing it, but accumulating it quietly. Price, Ethereum rises 6,000%, Bitcoin rises 2,000%, and then suddenly, hey, we're buying. But, who's the seller, right? If all the retail investors are pouring in, buying in here, who's the one selling it to them, right? Think about that. Why did the price stop during massive euphoria? Somebody is selling. So I'll get off my high horse on that. We had the Bitcoin conference last week. I saw multiple $500,000, $1 million price predictions come out of big names in that Bitcoin conference. Yet Bitcoin still continues to follow technicals. So we'll move over here to the altcoin market. Same story as Bitcoin, at the same price levels as Bitcoin. It has pulled right back down in here. Again, the same story of what we were looking for over here on the Dow Jones. So is the cryptocurrency market leading the way, or is the Dow not going to get down in there? Hard to say right now, but this is the price area we were looking for the Dow Jones back here in mid to late March. Well, that's where we are right in here for the altcoin market already right now. So Bitcoin's there, altcoin market's there. Dow Jones not there for some reason. And also same story for the altcoin market. Once again, right in here, right? It's this big support level that's come in here, right? The resistance right in here. Notice even when it wicked back up, this is where it wicked to before it turned down further again. This was also the breakout and the support back in here. Here we are once again. And same story with the daily moving averages. Not able to get through the 200-day, now poking below the 100-day. But if I had to make my best guess on it, it's that if my thesis is true, if we're in a long and grueling retrace in here and Bitcoin's not in some massive capitulative crash coming in here, that whenever it rolls back up in here, this is the best time for the alt season to happen in here, all during this moment. If we're going to get an alt season, my thought process is it all occurs right in here. So the second this thing can find its bottoming coming in here, and if it reverses back up and starts its waddle, this is the area where the market feels bullish on Bitcoin. The market feels bullish on Bitcoin up here in the 45s, 46, and 47s. If we stay in there, we waddle through in here, we head back into a retracement. Everybody's looking for a $100,000 Bitcoin. Everybody's looking for a $10,000 Ethereum. People get bored with Bitcoin. The altcoins start firing off. That's the best shot for an alt season to occur. And I know over the course of the last 2.5, 3 weeks, talking the story of Bitcoin pulling back down in here, it's been repetitive. It's been boring. It's almost been, why put out a video every single day when you're repeating the same stuff and people are just sick of hearing it, right? But here we are. We're at the moment. Now let's see if the fruition comes true or if it could, if it comes to fruition. I've been spending time by myself looking at these charts as well, studying what happened to these altcoins back in 2017 as well, when we had these big falls that come out in here and how these end up happening, the big breakouts, and then a big violent back test coming back in here once that breakout starts. So far, that's all okay. But it definitely would be nice to see Bitcoin find some support right here. So that way things are still clean. And I know to most people, they're thinking, this isn't clean, this is sloppy, and this is crazy. People are confused, people are bullish, right? But this has been my scenario for what I have had in my thought process for Bitcoin. Finding some support right here would still keep everything real clean for the thesis that I have drawn out. So we'll be watching this throughout the day. This is where most of my focus will be here on Bitcoin, on whether or not we're going to hold this area right here above $40,000, which has been the daily candle close level in here multiple times. So that's where we're at right now. I know a lot of people are feeling really unnerved. That's the word I kept seeing over there on Twitter, is feeling unnerved, unsettled. That's good. That's usually what we see when prices get low, feeling unnerved and unsettled. It's when you feel euphoria and excitement is where I'm feeling unnerved and unsettled. But I definitely want to see this hold. It doesn't mean the end of the world if it gets through there or not. It just means going back to the drawing board. But for my scenario, this has been my thought process to get back in here. We're in the climatic moment right now. We'll see if it holds throughout the rest of the day. And on that note, we'll wrap this thing up. We'll keep it brief. We'll keep it to the point. Looking for a hold today. I'll be hanging out on Twitter over there, keeping my eyes on everything and keeping my eyes on the charts all day. So if anything crazy happens, I'll post over there on Twitter. Otherwise, I hope that you guys have a great week. I know it's a rough start to the week. Good news is this is the thing that we're looking for. We just want to see it hold. But all right. That'll be it. That'll wrap it up for this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you're looking for something to do throughout the day, of course, you can check out my website over here, which is bcbacker.com. It's a course I put together where I deep dive into the previous Bitcoin bull runs, the previous altcoin market cycles, and tying them all together to show how this cryptocurrency market has worked in the past. I talk about my exit plans in here and teach you how to set up your own charts and your own indicators within TradingView and CoinTrader Pro. The most recent market update is in there on March 31st, and you can check out all of this educational content over here on bcbacker.com. Like I mentioned, my eyes will be glued to the charts all day long, so follow me over here on Twitter at bcbacker. I will post over here if anything crazy happens, good or bad. But otherwise, I wish you a good day. On that note, I'll wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you could be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.